Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how you can reduce the number of batches and how you can reduce the SetPass call, and then how you can change the material color of an object efficiently. Okay, uh, let's understand the problem first. Okay, let's say you have multiple I means like 50 or 60 objects on your scene that you are rendering. Okay, but for like say 10 of the objects you need to change the color. So first you have to render those objects on the screen, then you change the color, and then Unity draws it, also draw on the scene. It can be expensive. Okay, so for that problem, we need to fix that. That because on the some mobile phone, uh, it gets very expensive. Okay, so let's start. First of all, let's create it's an empty project. As you can see, it has nothing. It is have one packages which is called Odin Inspector. uh, it's a paid package. If you don't have it, then it's okay. Yeah, I'm using it for like demos. I want to show you the problem, you know. Using Odin Inspector, we can easily identify the how our uh, set pass call are increasing and batches also increasing. I will explain to later. Okay, so first create an empty object, and under it we can have like 50 or 60 cubes. I am using cubes as for example, that because it's cubes, it's easy to do that. Okay, let's do it. Mm. Okay, so we have this many objects. Okay, and also you already have a default mat. Let's create a default material for cubes. That's because we want to change the material color. We want to access it later. Default cubes mat. Fine, default colors will be fine. Okay, now as you can see we have like 55 or 56 cubes. Now if you play, you can see that we have like 269 batches and 8 set Pascal. This many batches is expensive. Okay, so we have to reduce it. So how we can reduce it? We can enable like GPU instance uh, here. If you click on it, okay, if you enable it and now play, you see now we have only 8 batches. So it highly optimized. Uh, you can stop there. Like say you have a ton of projects, you don't want to change anything on the material, then it's okay. But the problem arises when you want to change the material color for it. Okay, um, let's change the color. So first we need a script, like say set pass optimization. Create an empty object. Let's assign it. And okay, so as for code editor, I am using Rider, but you can use like Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code. It's up to you. You can use anything you like. Okay, so I will write a code that changes the sum of it colors. I'll show you the result. What happens after that? Okay. And now let me show you one thing. If you go to window analysis and frame debugger, you can see if you run it and enable the, so it will give you the frame for how Unity rendering these objects on the screen. So Right now it's okay, like say it's rendering all the cubes at the same time. Okay, that's because we have a GPU instance enabled. Okay, if someone doesn't know what's GPU instance is, it's just rendering technique where like say you can render multiple objects at the same time rather than just one by one. Okay, so our script opened. Okay, you can see it as just empty script, it has nothing. Okay, let's create a method so that we can change the material color of the cubes. Okay, so first we take a list. Let's write probably by change color default. Okay. So now we need to access the cubes first, right? Okay, let's create a list, game object type cubes, and we want to change the color of the cubes, but not for all of the cubes. Okay, then public int change, and we need a color for changing the color to a specific color. Okay, so let's say public color. Now change. Why this problem is showing me an error? Why? Okay, let's see. I don't know. This shut up. No error. It's working perfectly. Okay. Right, that is showing me for like say. Okay. Later. I'll show later. Mm. And now we will use a for loop for accessing all the cubes. Not this one. Cubes. Cubes dot count. And first we need to access the mesh render for the cubes, so we can access the material. So for ren cubes dot and rain, then material color equal to target color. Now we if we execute this code, okay, let's say we are executing from the start. If you call it from the start, it will change the color to a specific color. Okay, so let's demonstrate it. Solve the cubes, and when to change like say 10 of them and change it to red. Okay, and now if we press play, you can see the 10 of the game should be changed, color change should be 10. What's this? Why is all change? I mesh render, get component mesh render. I we are using the for loop wrongly. We need to use it like say for numbers we want to change this amount. Now if we play it, it should work properly. Yeah, the scan of the objects changes color. As you can see, the batches also increased and the set pass call also increased. And now okay, we use frame debugger for analysis, okay, frame debugger. So let's see how Unity is handling rendering these objects. As you can see, it's saying the object have different materials, but they should have same materials. But what happened here, like when we change color, it creates a new matter instance. That's how that's how it's got it, like new. You have different materials. Let's say SetPass call is 32 is okay for mobile, but let's say you want to change SetPass call for like say we have 30 of them we need to change. Then we can see that should see, yeah, we have 67 batches in SetPass call. It's a huge SetPass call. Okay, so we need to optimize that. So how can we do that? So first, okay, at first of the video I told you, like I am using Odin inspector for these purposes. I am using Odin inspector. It's similar to context menu on the Unity, you know. So rather than calling from start, as I'm using Odin inspector, it should give me a button here. Okay, now I can show you the properly. See, batches 8 and set Pascal 8. But if we change the color of 30 cubes, see 61 all increased. Okay, so now we need to change the color properly. So how can I do it? We can do it using material property block. So let's get another method for changing the color of the objects with material property block. Change color with block. First property property block. Then we get this from here. We need the mesh renderers. We also need the for loop, that because we want to looping through the objects. Okay, now in property block, now rain, let's get the block, property block, this change set color. On this section, like say if anyone on wondering like say where I got this color, I you can see it from here. Let me show you here. If you like, it's a standard method, right? You can see that I have colored these properties, right? If you want to change the color with property block, we need to use this underscore color. Okay, now we have to set it. Set property block, property block. This should work, and also give a header for it. Now if we change the color, now we are changing the color properly. Let's see what happens. Let's see our optimization work or not. Okay, 8 change color with property block. This is the new header for this one. Okay, 30. We got the 30 batches and 30 set Pascal. It optimized some way, but it's not what we need. Like say, let's say we are changing it from here. Just remember it like 30 and 30. Let's say if we change the color with default one, is give us 67, right? So we optimized a little bit, but it's still not fully optimized. Let's use our analysis tool, see what happens. What's happening here? Frame debugger enable, change color with the property block. Let's play it again. Let's see what happens. Okay, So analysis saying that not instantiated properties set for instance shader. Okay, so we have a problem, this problem. Okay, so the solution to this problem is like the shader we are using is the standard shader, and the property we are changing, it's not instantiated. So like say for research you can search it from here, so I can search also this from here. It's called non-instantiated properties. Okay, yeah. See, it's also explaining. There's answer for Unity. Okay, let's go there and let's go there. Let's see what happens. So basically, what we need is a shader, uh, where the color block is like is here instance already property. So let's take this one, like this shader. If we use this shader, uh, let's create a default shader for. How is the shader? Yeah, just take a shader, custom, and if you open it from here and copy paste the things. Okay, so and now change the this material property using custom one. Custom is a shader for shader. Okay, now if we play the game, what you see, we see like 88 call. So it's working properly, and also the GPU insertion enabled. And now as for the as per the analysis tool, on this shader the color property is instantiated, right? So uh, before he couldn't like say optimize or render multiple objects at the same time. The reason was it's not, the property is not instantiated. So but on this shader is instantiated, so it should work properly right now. If we change the color with property block, now you see it didn't not a single batches or set pass call increased. So let me show you again. And so if we change the with the let's say this one is diffuse, this no, this one is standard. If we are using this shader, uh, so with property block, also we shouldn't use this one this way. This way is expensive, so I'm removing it, you know. So useless stuff. Okay, now if we change this materials with default shader, it increases for 30 and 30. But if we are using our new shader, which has have these three lines, if we change now color, look, first we need to change the custom shader. Custom is a shader. Now if we change the color, voila. So yep, that's how you can optimize like the batches and set pass calls. First you need to enable the GPU instance. Then if you want to change the material color, use material property block. And after that, like say it's still too much for you, too much for the project or the device you are targeting, then use this shader, or you can make one. I'm just copied the default one, and this way is fully optimized. Okay, so that was the purpose of my video, and thank you for watching.